In the Muromachi period, Zen became a major force in Japanese culture, and especially in Japanese painting. Landscape painting becomes suffused with a spirit of Zen. So to understand that, we have to think more clearly about Zen Buddhism. So the Chinese word Chan and the Japanese word Zen are basically words for meditation, and they derive from the Sanskrit word dhyana, which is meditation, brought to China by the famous teacher Bodhidharma. So this school of Buddhism that emphasizes meditation actually connects Buddhism to Taoism very closely, in that both pay very close attention to process, to flow, and they are about being in the present moment. Both also philosophically speak about the void or emptiness in a positive sense. It is not a negative connotation of emptiness as a lack, but emptiness as pure openness. And in both the practice of meditation, the lifestyle built around Chan or Zen Buddhism, and the art, there is an emphasis on direct experience. So you will see an aesthetic of simplicity and austerity. And that's an expression of the spirit that goes back to Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma's teachings are very much about cutting through the unnecessary, cutting through what gets in the way of direct expression, direct experience. And so that will play out in the art of the great Japanese painter Sesshu, who's portraying Bodhidharma here. I've juxtaposed that with a very famous passage from the Bloodstream Sermon attributed to Bodhidharma, a teaching. Listen to how it rejects any kind of excess baggage that had built up around meditation. Bodhidharma says, Buddhas don't save Buddhas. If you use your mind to look for a Buddha, you won't see the Buddha. As long as you look for a Buddha somewhere else, you'll never see that your own mind is the Buddha. Don't use a Buddha to worship a Buddha, and don't use the mind to invoke a Buddha. Buddhas don't recite sutras, Buddhas don't keep precepts, and Buddhas don't break precepts. Buddhas don't keep or break anything. Buddhas don't do good or evil. To find a Buddha, you have to see your own nature. That is a key orientation of Zen Buddhism, to see your own nature. So Zen Buddhism is practical and emphasizes practices. The practice of meditation, which can be seated meditation or walking meditation. The meditation in everyday life performed with discipline and simplicity. Suzuki Roshi's famous line, sweeping the floor is Zen. Sweeping your floor can be an act of meditation. It can be a process and a practice of liberating your mind and seeing your own nature. Another Zen practice involves koans, which are baffling paradoxes. So the most famous is, what is the sound of one hand clapping? Another one that is very powerful, what did your face look like before you were born? Paradoxes that absolutely cannot be explained with the rational mind. So they force you out of your habitual mind. And also calligraphy as a practice, the art of the brush. So the Zen Enso circle, in which you perform with one sweeping stroke of the brush, a circle with a slight opening, the circle, the cycle of life, the circle of samsara, the circle of the wheel of the Buddha. the circle of continuity, and the openness shows us that this is not a closed circle. There's a defined space, but that defined space is open. And this particular Zen circle was made by the great Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. So what happens in the Muromachi period is that painting doesn't just express Zen ideals, it is actually a practice of Zen itself.